Today, we are here for the market update for Hamilton, Grimsby, and I've got Abdellah Majd from Rebel Real Estate. Abdellah, what's going on in the market?
Inventory levels are absolutely through the roof. I urge anybody, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're looking to purchase real estate, now is the time. To me, this is not even game changing, this is life changing. That might sound like over the top, but I can't stress it enough. Especially in Hamilton, there's just an incredible amount of opportunity, and this one fits the mold.
Welcome back to the Canadian Real Estate Channel. I'm Abdellah Majd, your host, and today we are here for the market update for Hamilton, Grimsby, and I've got Abdellah Majd from Rebel Real Estate. Abdellah, what's going on in the market? We saw some huge numbers there in the market stats update on that quick video. I'm looking to dive into that.
Yeah, 100%, Adam. I always look forward to these chats. Pumped to be back on. You'll be talking lots today. Let's dive into these stats a little bit. I know we just kind of blasted through them, but just to slow it down a little bit. I remember doing these stat portions, if you will, as the market was kind of correcting and all arrows were pointing down. Now all the arrows are pointing up. But we want to show the viewers as well the month over month, kind of again give a refresher, but a more recent kind of change in these major categories. So August to September, sales up a bit, sales up quite a bit year over year. The inventory months of supply, that's just an upward trajectory and could be the case for the foreseeable future as with average days on market. And then what I kind of mentioned during the previous kind of in the face segment is we're looking month over month. What is that? 620, you're almost 23 grand, up 23 grand month over month on the average sale price. I mean, obviously there's a lot that goes to that. It's not just take a number and divide it. You know, obviously there's some outliers and there's realists and there's a bunch of different kind of elements there, but it still should give you a pretty good idea of the strength of that number. So 23,000 month over month, almost 5% year over year. I mean, this is just not statistically, but just a reminder. I guess we'll beat it into the viewers here. You could be in the worst market possible. Everybody's got their own different situations. Most aren't in the greatest situation, but if you're looking to unload, you can do it by way of being as realistic as humanly possible. I know you hear it everywhere, but just a reiteration through these stats. I don't know how else to basically highlight this, but inventory levels are absolutely through the roof. Running searches for clients on a daily basis, it's actually, you know, becoming another skill set to try to refine it as much as possible, because it doesn't matter every which way, you're just getting an incredible amount of inventory. You know, we've helped a bunch of buyers on our team this month. You're controlling the narrative, right? You're really controlling the narrative from the onset. Stuff comes up in the inspection. There's definitely more negotiating room. So I urge anybody, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're looking to purchase real estate, now is the time. We don't know what these rates are going to do. You know, I saw a stat today. There's a 92% chance that we're going to get a 50 basis point reduction on the 23rd. Not sure what that's going to mean going to the holiday season, but to be determined. Lots of information. At the end of the day, the bottom line is get out there and get off the sidelines.
Yeah, I think if you're a buyer, these stats are fantastic, right? I mean, we're looking at a ton of inventory. Average price is up, but only 4.7 from last year. And then month over month, right? You see that 23K. And I think where that can help you as a buyer even is like now we're starting to look at future value of these properties and we're starting to see that increasing value. So again, the earlier now that we can transact, and especially when there's all this inventory to choose from, the better positioned we are for when these rates do drop and we have higher values again in the near future. That it's going to help you with refinancing. That can help you as well with actually disposing of the property later on. And then, of course, if you're a seller right now, You don't need to necessarily be scared about these stats. All this means is that there is going to be a lot more competition on the market for the same, there's a lot more inventory for the same amount of dollars to chase. And so for you as the seller, what that really means is now's probably not the time to cheap out, right? So when you see that average price coming up and you also see inventory coming up, now's the time to think about maybe doing that staging, right? Making sure the property is actually pretty cleaned up, making sure that you're getting rid of any weirdness with your listing. Like ideally, you're going to have a clean, nice, staged listing with great photos and great marketing. And obviously working with a great power team is going to help you to achieve some of those goals with a lot more ease and less friction. And so it's not actually a bad situation for either parties. I think it is in favor of the buyer right now because there's so much to choose from. And of course, not all of that's going to be price premium, right? You're going to be able to find some great deals inside that 2,400. If again, you're working with a great power team, somebody like Abdellah, who just mentioned, like it's becoming literally a new skill set to even sort through this. So This becomes the game of how well can you sort, right? And if you know the avatar of what your building looks like or who your seller is, you can start to better understand which properties to really narrow in on and focus on. And you've got a ton of inventory to choose from. So as a buyer, I'm loving this.
100%. There's always a silver lining here for sure. And, of course, case by case, the population, everybody's got their own particular situation. But again, going back to what you said, Adam, great points. Like this is the time now to go above and beyond, stage your properties, take time writing these up, pull in as much valuable data as you can, even, through the remarks, especially with your multi-units, right? And look into the future a bit. Okay, what's how can I intensify this property? What are, can buyers come forward, not just look at a duplex or a triplex, but, where can these rents go? Can you put an ADU in the back? Whatever the case is, you just got to take more time, be more particular. And you should ask of that from your real estate professionals for sure. So going to jump into the rental rate trends. So I'll give you kind of a year over year. None of these stats are going to be absolutely perfect. We're pulling them from a very legitimate source in Zumper. Obviously got a very wide cast of net in terms of the database. So year over year for a 1-bed, we're down 5 points, 2-bed down 6, a bedroom up to, or a 3-bed up to, 4 bedrooms down 17%, and your studios, which usually get the most kind of flack, down 15%. But now shifting focus right to the last 30 days, more recent, more kind of more of a micro look at things. We're up 6% on a 1-bedroom in the last month. The 2 bedrooms have held steady, up a tick. The 3-bed up almost 300% of the 4-bedroom. And I've mentioned this in previous episodes. This is really a sector that we don't necessarily see much as an investor-focused ecosystem, with anything from 2 to 4 units, maybe the odd time. But again, this is more kind of on the single family side where you are seeing friends come together, relatives come together to obtain a rental property. And bachelors are up 13%. You're in the 1-bedroom market. 1-bedrooms are sitting at almost 1,700. Really depends. You could get a larger bachelor that you might not be able to constitute as a 1-bedroom, and now you're saving $300-400 getting into a bachelor. It's tenants and the rental world pivoting, right? To me, it's if I have relatively the same square footage, but I can spend $300 less, maybe I go into a bachelor for the next year, right? We have one listed right now, a bachelor unit that flew off the shelves, was listed, but ended up flying off the shelves in out in Grimsby at a 6-plex that some of our investor clients own. We can deliver the stats, but we'll give it to you guys, boots on the ground, always. These next 2 slides kind of want to slow things down a bit. These excerpts are from our friends at the Synergy Mortgage Group, who are our trusted partners and anything we do on the mortgage side, especially on the CMHC side. Obviously we're not splitting the atom here. This has been national news. CMHC-insured refinance program with creating secondary suites. To me, again, with any of these large kind of programs that are being rolled out, it's not going to benefit everybody. It's going to benefit those who can formulate a plan and take advantage of it. of course, situation dependent. So max property value up to 2 million. Of course, that's considerable in Hamilton. Amortization gets pushed out to 30 years, and you can do maximum of 4 units. Of course, that's because of the residential commercial financing kind of split, right? Up to anything up to 4 units stays residential. 5 and up, obviously CMHC can still look at, but on totally different lending terms, and obviously falls very in line with our zoning, and of course being able to build up to 4 legal suites by law dependent on the majority of parcels here in Hamilton now. It's still very new. We'll see how this all kind of plays out. But to me, of course, this is what the government does, especially with real estate and what's happened to it, and being the focal point in our country, and seeing the rolling out anything that could be even semi-beneficial. Going down the board qualifications here. So the applicant must already own their property, so it needs to be existing. The borrower or family member must presently occupy a unit on the property, and then new units can't be rented out short term. Even in Hamilton now, the kind of short rental game is a thing of the past, with a lot of the changes the new mayor kind of put in place at our city level. Again, very kind of particular circumstances here on the qualification side. Just like when the parcels got rezoned here in Hamilton, and instead of just moving forward and investors acquiring, we took a step back into people's portfolios. Okay, we had people reach out. I've got this triplex, I've got this duplex, whatever the case is. Maybe your family member is on title at one of these properties that can be converted, right? There'll be an immense amount of opportunity there. The loan to value of unheard of, going from 80 to 90% as well. That's huge. And then they're doing as completed appraisals as well, right? So that's more of a commercial metric, but with that program and the conversation that I've had with our trusted vendors here, there's looking to the future a bit to make sure that the asset aligns properly. So, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, Adam, on these rollouts.
Yeah, I think the big standout here on this slide for me is the loan to value, right? Because like 10% might seem trivial, but it's really not, because a lot of these units, like, again, we just shot a huge series with 555 Construction on additional dwelling units, what they cost, how you can implement them in your existing portfolio, the 3 or 4 different types of ADUs that you could go about building. And on the low end of these buildings are like retrofitted garages, right? So you take a solid garage and you turn that into a brand new unit with its own dedicated, beautiful layout that gets you max market rents. And these buildings can be as low cost as about $100,000. Then there are bigger ADUs where you're actually building from the ground up, right? And some of these ADUs can be around $200,000, let's say. But when I look at this maximum loan to value at 90%, I start thinking, okay, even if we just kind of think back 3 or 4 slides, we know that the average sale price was over 800,000, right? It was like 823. So when I look at 90%, I look at that extra 10% that I can capture of that value of the total property value. I'm looking at like an extra $80,000, right? And so if I look at a build cost of 100,000 or 200,000 even, and I'm able to capture an extra 80 grand of that in the form of a mortgage that's going to come, sub 5%, and with a payment that's amortized over 30 years, it's starting to look super juicy to add units, because not only are you maximizing the rent, but that maximizes the property value itself, and you're able to finance it and push out your amortization 30 years. As an investor that focuses on cash flow, this is a really, really, really fantastic tool that allows you to take those existing properties, maximize their value, maximize your revenue, and add some housing supply to the market, which is still needed despite how much inventory we're seeing. Like, there still really is a demand for more density and for more units to come up. And this is the way to do it, man. I mean, pushing out that amortization like that with that loan to value, it just makes it so accessible for people to actually improve their existing portfolio and capture it in a meaningful way, that new revenue. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Adam. So I think there's a incredible amount of value here. Again, to me, it's about just taking a second and stepping back and evaluating, right? You're someone that's been holding properties for years. maybe you've been complacent and, you just kind of let them run their course or whatever the case is. Go dive into your portfolio, see what's there, see what's moldable. That's where we always start. Again, with this one, the property has to be owned, right? So that's, kind of a non-negotiable. It's just nice, right? Just falls in line with how much more easygoing Hamilton is on the bylaw side of things, and where this R1, R1A stuff has basically been a game changer in the city.
Yeah, and one last point I'd like to make on that too is I would be interested, and I don't know if you have this answer, but if you were able to do those refinancing with CMHC like that, and also in concert, go and apply for some of the grants that are available, right? Because we've seen grants from 20K to 80K across various cities in Ontario. And if you're able to work both of those programs simultaneously, like the benefits would just be so incredible. It's good enough to get the CMHC benefits there, but if you could also work that in with a government grant, that would just be so fantastic, because that could get you almost up to, like, on the cheaper end, if you're doing the smaller ADUs, that's getting you to like 100% financed essentially, which would just be so fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys talked to 555 about it and the grants that they're handing out in St. Catharines, especially in that municipality. Yeah, I'd love to see. I don't have the answer for sure, Adam. I mean, just going off of the CMHC like MLI select change that they made on the energy efficiency side, and you couldn't use a VTB, now you can. I would imagine if it's not doable out of the gate, that'll likely be a change very quickly. And I know with these programs, they always want feedback before they make any changes. But yeah, that's definitely something to look into. And then just to kind of jump into this next portion of it, to me, I think still very beneficial to those who can look at it and make use of it. We all know 1 to 1.5 million has been like the major headline there, which now alleviates the down payment. And just to give you that example, usually in the previous kind of regulation, you needed 300 grand put down on a $1.5 million home. And now it's basically been scaled back to 125,000. Now you're able to acquire it. Of course, you're dealing with obviously a higher mortgage payment, but cash conservation, right? So my favorite part of it on the eligibility side is owner occupied home less than 4 units. To me, there's incredible amount of opportunity on the house hacking side. I was chatting with a colleague earlier today, and what this really could mean, especially when you're adding the rental income. I think this, again, just another portion of just the upside and CMHC continuously coming to the forefront and providing, solutions for a lot of Canadians. So love that one as well. Again, we wanted to focus more on those headlines and what that means for buyers going forward and for current homeowners. A couple different opportunities. We always like to throw something at the viewers. This one's off market, a little bit outside of Hamilton and Brantford, but in an area that we still deal with at a high level. Asking price will be roughly kind of low to mid fives, kept at TBD just for the time being. But of course, if there's any interest in any of these properties that we offer, whether on market or off, obviously drop us a comment below. This one was actually my first real estate deal ever, 8 years and a couple months ago, with an investor client of mine who's now had tenants pay it down for almost a decade and ready to cash out and kind of move on. So super deep lot, 132 feet. You can see the kind of the garage there in the back off the mutual drive. That could easily be torn down and built up. Monthly projected rent just with the 2 units. $2,300 for the main house, $1,200 for the main level / basement bachelor in the rear, with a total projected rent of $3,500. We're Hamilton tried and true, but we do come across a lot of opportunities in Brantford out towards Niagara. But I'll leave that to my colleague out that way. Another live opportunity that an agent in our office, Suzanne Tavares, has listed right now. Fantastic house hack, very sought after, entry level type of home. Like, to me, 550 for single family versus 550 for a duplex of this size. This thing's almost 2,000 square feet. I think, to me, it's a no brainer. If you can live with a tenant, this is let me make an announcement. Like, if you are a first time buyer and you can deal with living with a tenant, I can't encourage you enough to go out and house hack. I house hacked for the better part of a decade. It allowed me to obviously propel my finances on a monthly basis for so long. Great big lot here too. 18 and 2100 on the rents, right? So, you live upstairs, you know what you're getting and vice versa. So you have a good idea of what that rental offset means. Like, to me, this is not even game changer. This is life changing. That might sound like over the top, but I can't stress it enough, especially in Hamilton. There's just an incredible amount of opportunity, and this one fits the mold.
Listen, guys, house hacking is literally one of the greatest tools that we have available to us if we're starting out as real estate investors. I did it. Matt McKeever did it. Abdellah did it. Phipps Britton, they both did it, right? Kayla did it. Everybody that's come on this channel has started out with house hacking for a reason, right? So think about that. Abdellah just said he's been buying that last deal they bought 8 years ago, right? And the client has held it for 8 or 10 years. Think about that revenue, right? So $2,100 a month, multiply that out for the year. That's about 25 grand. Now look at that on a 10-year basis. Where the hell are you going to find an additional $250,000?
$250,000, yeah.
No, just think about it. You can't. It's not going to happen. And here's the thing. It's $250,000 that you didn't get taxed on the way, right? And so what that really means is you will have had to have found $500,000 to get taxed 50% to keep the $250,000. Right now, there's taxes and shit like that on the properties as you go. But listen to me, you're just not going to increase your revenue by $250,000. I'm sorry, you're not doing it. I don't care who you are, what industry you're in. You cannot get a raise worth $25,000 every single year that you don't have to work for, right? And exactly. Now, real estate investing, it's active, right? People say it's a passive thing. It's really not. But it's nowhere near as active as your full-time job. You're not showing up at this property 40 hours a week to go get that money, right? And so I think house hacking is literally the greatest tool we have, especially when you're getting started, because that capital is so important to preserve. And every dollar that they're giving you pays down your mortgage, and it keeps your capital in your pocket so that you can go and do strategic renovations that increase your equity and increase the value of the building and allow you to get these max rents. So having this come vacant possession and then having somebody come in there and give you top market rent at $2,100, that's like, it's literally life-changing. Abdellah, you hit it right on the head with that.
Yeah, like we just moved out, and to be honest, the only reason we did was because there was a new build on the horizon, and we're just one of those things where you can just walk away from it. Mind you, it's in a nice area and we're enjoying living there. But the 10 years before, it was constant stream coming in. I love the way you position that. It's exactly where are you going to find that, right? And the beauty of it is you're not having you live at the property. The tenant is above or beneath you, right? Obviously, do vet it at a hyper level because you're living with the people. I think, to me, again, every single buyer I start with, I don't care if you're looking at $500,000 or $1 million out of the gate, you will get this speech from me. It's too incredible. Like, I don't know how else to explain. Like, if you can do it, absolutely do it. Like, just imagine what your life would look like if, okay, now I've got $2,000 coming in a month. Like, even for those who invest in the stock market or mutual funds, let's maybe take real estate out of the way. Like, just to have that excess cash every month to go do and compound that, like, just to take it a step further, incredible amount of opportunity. And it allows you to springboard faster into your next property. It's buy the duplex, house hack it, whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on when you get started. You replace yourself. Hopefully you've built, a nice surplus, plus you're saving through your active income. And now you're on to your next one, whether maybe that's another house hack or you're getting into your trophy home, depending on where life takes you. But absolutely, guys, hit us up for this. Drop a comment, reach out to us. You guys know where to reach out to us. And then to end off the episode today, Adam, always super excited about our multi-unit conversion tours. So these are becoming a bit of an attractive event here in Hamilton. It's becoming very popular. We run these about 3 times a year. It's a huge collaboration. You can see all the brands there, engineering, obviously our construction company, our sales team, the entire brokerage. It's really just a nice day where people come together. It's super educational, free coffee. who doesn't like free coffee as well? But we'll go out and we lay everything out. We'll talk about rents. Our friends actually, Synergy Mortgage Group will be there as well. And you'll hear from 555, you'll hear from Deck Inc. You'll hear from our agent as well. It's just a fantastic day of so many different walks of life or walks of business coming together. And there's this one we're going to put on a show, just the amount of projects. And I know you guys had the opportunity, Adam, you and Pete, to go see some of the 555 stuff going on, and we'll be able to showcase that. And it's always free. It's educational. We do a little debrief afterwards. It's just it's a day I look forward to 3 times a year, and just to get out and meet more people and try to spread the gospel. So November 2nd, 11 a.m. If you guys go onto Instagram or Facebook, you'll see it through Madge Realty Inc. You'll see it through our Revel sites, through Deck Inc., through 555 Management, through Reveal. So get out there. Again, if you reach out, we can send you guys the Eventbrite link. But it'll be a fantastic one. That one in the background was one of the cooler ones we've done collaboratively. That is a 5,000 square foot duplex.
Dang.
With a 2-story ADU in the back. Actually, I think Pete and I shot that one with 555 last summer. That's in Hamilton. One of the coolest projects I've ever been a part of. Wonderful clients that we're dealing with there. So again, guys, November 2nd, 11 a.m., 581 Concession Street. We'll be hitting the road. We're usually back or done by about 1:30, 2 o'clock, but we always fill the day. It's an awesome day. And then to finish our preferred vendors, guys, across the board, we have a very serious and in-tune power team here, and we're always here to help. So that's it for me, Adam.
Hey, that's awesome, Abdellah. And guys, I'm so happy you're here watching us on YouTube. YouTube's a fantastic tool that can help you to get a lot of free advice, a lot of free coaching, a lot of free mentorship even. But there's nothing that compares to getting out there in person, networking with real people in your community, networking with potential power team members like Abdellah, right? And you've got the mortgage guys there, you've got the engineers there. This is your opportunity to ask the really hard questions that sometimes fall through the cracks because we can't think of everything you're thinking about on each video, right? So this is your opportunity to get out, get some FaceTime, shake some hands, shake some babies, and learn about real estate in person. This is the reality is there's just no better way to do it. Like the media richness from YouTube is fairly great because we're able to have these long form discussions, but there's nothing like walking through a building and seeing the implementation of what we're talking about, right? And that's the important part, right? It's in order to actually become really serious real estate investors, you need to be making offers. You need to be out seeing properties. You need to be out talking to sellers and talking with your power team about how can we best set ourselves up for success in the long term, and how do we take action on that today. So one of the best ways to do that is get out there, network with people, understand what their goals and their desires are, understand how they can help you, understand how you can help them. Right. And that's how we actually come together as a community of real estate investors, because everybody's at a different point in their journey. Everybody's at a different cycle in their journey. Right. So right now, I'd be more likely to be a lender than a buyer. Right. But it's just because of my personal goals right now. But as you go out and network, you might find out that somebody's got the money you need, or you might have the property that the money needs to connect with. Right. And this happens all the time. It can be as simple as a 10-minute conversation that turns into an appointment that you book to go sit down and have a coffee with somebody. Right. And that could turn into a real serious business relationship that turns into you hitting your goals in 2025. And I can't stress the power of that. So I don't want to beat a dead horse on this, but get the hell out in the community. Go meet other real estate investors. Go talk to the service providers like Abdellah so that you can get a great understanding, like, how actually do I achieve my goals? Right. First of all, you need to have an understanding of what your goals are. So do that. But right after that, it's like, how do we implement this? Right. Because a great plan with no execution is just bullshit. So guys, I really encourage you to get out there, get in the community, talk to people, ask them for the help that you need. Right. Declare your goal. ask for the help you need, and then get to work on actually executing. And that's what these tours are made for. So I hope you guys have a chance to get out there November 2nd. If you're watching this video, that's probably really soon. So clear your calendar, get out there in the community, and go hang out with Abdellah. He's a great hang. And who the hell doesn't love free coffee? All right, Abdellah. Well, thank you so much. We're going to be back here next month with the next market update video. So if you guys haven't already, drop a subscribe there. If you guys have any questions or you want to talk more about Hamilton and Grimsby, leave a comment down below, and we're more than happy to respond to your comment. But best thing you can do is just pick up the phone, right? Pick up the phone, call Abdellah, get your questions answered right away. And with a time like this, when there's so much inventory, there's more sales going on, right? Average prices coming up, rates are dropping, amortization spreading. Now's the time to pick up the phone. All right.
It's a whirlwind right now. There's lots going on. Go connect with the pros.
Wicked. Okay, guys, we'll see you back here next month.